Yo, what's up everybody? Jumpin' here, and today I am super excited to be starting my Noob's Guide for Demon's Souls on the PS5. Now, I know I'm late to the party. I didn't get this game right away. I didn't have a PS5, like, for the longest time. But now that I've gotten the game and I've played it enough, I definitely feel comfortable in making this guide. And I thought, well, what's the point? The game's kind of old now. But there's going to be a lot of people who will be getting PS5s, and when they're looking for games to play, they might be looking at this one. And if you're brand new to the series, you've never played any of the Dark Souls games, this will help you out a lot. This will be a 100% guide. I'll be showing you like really easy ways of dealing with all the bosses and doing all the areas and getting all the items. And also just the special events like the World Tendency events and all that type of good stuff, which can be complicated if you're a brand new player. If you've never played this game before, but maybe you have played the other games, this guide should also help you out a ton, because I'll be going over pretty much everything in great details. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start a brand new game, and there will be a build for this series that I'm going to be going for. You don't have to copy it exactly, but this build will make this game really easy. It's a non-magic build, because magic can be really good in this game, and it can make the game extremely easy, but you're kind of dealing with a glass cannon when you're doing that, and I know a lot of new players might not really like that, because you'll die a lot. But with this build, you really shouldn't have any problems. This is a very solid build. But let's go ahead and get started. And we are going to go through the tutorial area. And then we're going to go through pretty much all of the very first area. Alrighty, so I went ahead and made Kanye West because he's a king. And we're going to be playing as royalty. That's going to be our class, because this is definitely one of the best, if not the best class to start as, because you get a lot of nice stuff. The main thing is you get a little bit of magic, you get a fairly decent weapon, the shield is actually pretty good, the helmet piece is good, we get a nice ring to start the game. It's going to make the game easy starting as a royal. Now, to be honest with you, with this particular build, it doesn't actually matter what class you start as, because the general rule is that the luck stat is actually really bad, so normally you want to avoid that luck stat. So overall, a lot of times, if you're going to have magic in your build, Royal's the way to go. And if you don't want magic in your build, the best one is Temple Knight. That's normally a good rule of thumb. Now, another decent class, though, is actually the Knight. And if you look, it's always because of the fact that you start with just 7 luck. So the Knight's not bad either. But for this particular build we're doing, we will be using luck. We're going to be using a weapon that will scale with luck. And that weapon will make the game extremely easy. And we're not doing any like exploits or glitches, because when the game first came out, there was a crazy exploit glitch that you could do to get like infinite damage. We're not doing that, because they've been patched that, and the only way you can do that is if you have the disc version and you don't have the patch. So, this is the class I recommend you start as. The gift, grab the ring, because the only other way to get this ring is really annoying and complicated. So just start with the ring. If you want to get trophies and stuff, there is a trophy to get all the rings. So start with this, that way you got it and you're done. And that's basically it. So we can go ahead and start this up. I'm going to be skipping all cutscenes. I actually turned the dialogue off, so if you're worried about like spoilers or anything like that, you don't have to worry about it. Now we will be playing the journey to the Nexus. This is the tutorial area, and if you die here, that's totally okay. Don't feel bad. You might die here. It's just the way it is. And if you do, you will miss out on a couple things, but it's not the end of the world. You don't need to go and like start over. Don't do that. But first things first, let's actually talk about some basic controls. I will be putting timestamps in this video if I remember. So if you want to skip this part because you know how to play like a game like this, and you have played Dark Souls, it's the same stuff. But just in case you're brand new, let's go over a couple things. First of all, let's talk about basic attacks. You have light attacks and heavy attacks. So your light attack is with your R1. And your heavy attack is with R2. And the heavy attacks will do more damage, but they're slower. The light attacks are faster, but of course they do less damage. Now with the shield, you can block holding L1, and this will allow you to block some damage out. Not all shields are equal. Some shields are better than others. And you can actually look at the shields by pulling up your menu, and then go ahead and click on it. And if you hit square, you can actually see reduction. And in this case, this has a 90% reduction to physical. Generally, physical is a stat you really want to look at, but fire damage, magic damage can be good as well. The other stat is guard break. That's how much stamina we're going to lose when we're blocking. So again, some shields are way better because we can block and we will like never run out of stamina by blocking. But the physical damage stat on this shield means that 10% of the damage we're going to take whenever we're blocking with this shield. Now you can parry, which is kind of a more advanced technique, but you can parry with L2. And if you time it right as the attack's about to connect, if you parry, you can go ahead and get a lot of damage by doing a repulse. And the way that you do that is you just hit R1 after you have a successful parry. You can two-hand your weapon, which is something that's really important because you will get a little bit more damage when you do this. Now, you lose the ability to block, obviously. You can block still, but you never really want to block when you're two-handing unless your weapon actually has a good defensive stat on it, which it probably doesn't, so keep that in mind. But same thing, you can attack and you can do power attacks. There you go. Now, we have some magic. To do magic, we need to have our catalyst, so we have that on this hand right now. We can go ahead and actually switch the hand if we want. That way we can pull this out at range, shoot some enemies, then stab the enemies if they get in close. And if we need the shield, we can always pull it back out. Normally, it's not going to be much of a problem, especially early in the game. So if you want to put the catalyst on this hand, that's perfectly alright. To cast magic, all you have to do is just basically hit L1 if it's on the left hand, or hit R1 if it's on the right hand. So, there you go. That's how you cast your magic. You, of course, have a health bar, and you have a mana bar, and you have a stamina bar. If the health bar depletes to 0, you die. If the mana bar depletes to 0, you can't cast magic anymore. And your stamina bar is basically when you're attacking, or blocking, or dodging, that will reduce your stamina, and it will recharge. Now, the Royal, one of the reasons this class is good to start the game is because we get this ring, which will slowly recover our MP. Now, this ring, it's okay, but to be honest with you, this is good early on. Later on, we don't need it, so it's really whatever. And they automatically equip this ring for us because we chose it as a starting gift. Now, another important aspect of this game is rolling. So you can just basically roll with circle anytime. This can help you avoid attacks. With a class like this, we kind of want to roll probably more than we want to block, at least early on. We will be blocking a lot later, but we're going to get a better shield first. But at this point of the game, we're going to be rolling a lot to try to avoid attacks. We can block some things, and if you want to practice, you can try to do a couple parries and actually do the repulse. Now, let's go ahead and talk about items real quick. So in this game, the way to heal is through grass. So they start you off with 4 of these half-moon grasses, and if we use these, we can go ahead and get a little bit of health back. We're going to be picking up like some more basic grasses in a moment, because as you're playing through, you'll find a lot of them. And if you need to heal, that's an easy way of doing it. There will be healing spells in the game and things like that, but we're not going to really worry about that. And there's also ways of regenerating health through like items. There's a shield that's really good. There's a ring that can be good. So there's a lot of things, basically, but that's your basic controls for the game. I'm trying to think, did I really forget anything? Probably not. So first things first, let's go ahead and come over here. And now this is another thing that is important, and that's locking on. A lot of new players, from what I can tell, whenever I'm like talking to them or showing them a game like this, they have problems locking on. They might not be used to it, so they don't do it. But in this game, locking on is key. So you want to always lock on. You click in the right stick for that. So try to lock on, and then you can engage. So once you're locked on, just go ahead and attack a guy like that. He's not going to even probably attack you. Now, the next guy might attack us, so let's actually like be a little defensive. I'm going to block the next attack. So let's come over here, and here's the guy. Let's go ahead and block. There are little things on the ground, by the way, you can read, and they can also help you learn the game. It's going to tell you how to block, how to attack, that type of stuff. So let's go ahead and block him, and then we'll do a heavy attack. Now, one thing about blocking in this game is that whenever you block the attack, if the enemy will bounce off your shield, then what will happen is you will actually get an increase in your damage if you counterattack them at that point. So that's definitely a very nice little strategy. Let's use a little bit of magic just to do that. So we'll bust out the catalyst. At distance, we can lock on. Remember, you want to lock on. That's very important. And we can go ahead and shoot our spells and take those guys out, no problem. Now, let's go ahead and head up the stairs. I don't think there's really any items right away. I will do a parry here on this guy just to show it. But like I said, I wouldn't worry about parries that much just because. Remember, you want to time it so that whenever the attack's about to land, you try to hit the L2 button. So let's go ahead and do that. we can do the parry, and if you hit R1 afterwards, you can do the repulse. I'm always saying that wrong, so I'm sorry. I know. Someone's going to say something, but there you go. Alright, so let's go ahead and have it up the stairs. There's an item here. Pick that up. And that's some more of the grass. Now, in the settings, it should be by default that it's going to auto-equip, like, new items. You can disable that if you want in your settings, but for now, it's decent just because we're trying to get, like, you know, the healing stuff, and we just... auto-equipping is fine. Later on, it can be maybe annoying, but not really. Now, against this next enemy, I'm going to two-hand. So I'm going to hit triangle, because that's how you two-hand. It was triangle, which I kind of forgot to mention that's how you do it earlier. But when we're doing this, we're more kind of offensive, because we can't really block, so we're just going to try to roll around them and stuff. And that is a backstab. To do a backstab is similar to doing the repulse. Basically, it is a critical attack. So to do that, you really just got to get behind the enemy and then do your R1 attack. And that will get you backstabs. You can also do backstabs really easily by blocking. So if you block, you can kind of circle behind an enemy and then try to go for the backstab. Another thing about backstabs that might be a little confusing is that it's kind of a good idea to hold forward as you're going for it. So like right as you're going for the backstab, hold forward and then hit the R1 button. Now, another thing I do need to talk about in a second here. Let me deal with this enemy first. So, again, I'm just going to kind of like back up or get behind him and do it again. Very, very easy stuff. Now, let me go ahead and have my fist out because you will have this thing. It's a push attack. Now, push attacks are going to be good for like trying to break through shields, and it can actually give you some of that like stability damage. So, remember when you block an enemy, if they bounce off, if you counter them, you're going to do more damage to them. It's the same thing if you actually can do a push-off attack and then attack them. So an example of a push-off attack is this. With the fist, it's a headbutt. Now the thing is that to do this, you will probably do it accidentally a lot. Let me go ahead and deal with this enemy real quick. Do a parry, and now we punch him in his face. Really, really sick animation there for that. But to do this attack, you have to press forward on the left stick, and you have to do your light attack, and it's got to be done at the exact same time. So this is something that you can practice. We will be using this later in this video. So you do want to practice this, if you can, this push attack, because you might be doing this a lot, where you're just doing the normal attacks, maybe do one push attack. Try to practice a little bit, maybe headbutt a wall for a while, to kind of learn how you're going to do your push attack, because this is only important for kind of cheesing things, for making things easier on ourselves. But in general, it can be annoying when you're actually fighting, because sometimes you're trying to do like a light attack or something, and then all of a sudden you do your push off attack, and you're like, I didn't mean to do that. That was an accident. So that's why I bring that up. That will happen. You will get annoyed by it, but just know that it happens to everybody. Don't feel bad about it. So now we're going to move on to the next area. I did pick up that grass back there, so make sure to grab that if you want some extra ones. And we're going to have some new enemies now. These guys are going to be a little bit stronger, so I'm going to two-hand. And with the two-hand, you can kind of judge your distance, because we actually do get, at least with this weapon, we do get a little bit more range. So if we lock on and kind of like let him come to us, we can kind of attack him first. And we're stunning him, so as long as we're able to keep attacking him, he shouldn't be able to attack us back. Now, of course, you do want to pay attention to your stamina bar at all times. Now, this guy's going to be a little bit stronger of an enemy, so lock on. I'm going to back up and actually use some magic on him, and that's going to take half his health down. If he's blocking, he might be able to actually resist my magic, because he'll block the magic. He'll take some damage, but he won't take full damage. Now, on this one, what they're trying to teach you here, and this is actually what they're trying to do, the developers, is they're trying to teach you about how to two-hand. Because when you're one-handing, if the enemy blocks, just like how you can get the push-off, you know, like you block their attack, they bounce off. If you're one-handing your weapon and they're blocking, you will bounce off of that shield. And guess what? You too can take the increased damage from the stability damage. So what we can do to counteract that is two-hand. If we two-hand our weapon with triangle, we will not bounce off at all. So watch. I will attack, and he's not really blocking now. I'm going to let him block again, and we will not bounce off at all. So he will block some of the damage out. Like, that's something that will happen. But if we can keep attacking, there's a good chance we're going to break through and get some damage in that way. So enemies with shields, it's always a good idea to maybe two-hand your weapon if you want to. Now, another thing I didn't talk about is the running attack. If you want to sprint, you hold circle to sprint. And we can do a running attack by doing a light attack as we're doing this. So, there you go. And, of course, you can lock on, but because I'm running around, I'm not trying to lock on. So let's do it like this with the lock on, okay? Now, another attack you have is your roll attack. So if you do roll out the way of something, you can try to counter. So let me do that. Roll and then attack. That's another little tactic you can use. Let's go ahead and pick up these items on the way. And we're coming up on the tutorial boss in a moment here. Now, honestly, at this point, you probably have been alright. You're doing okay. If you need to heal, always just use your grass. Look how strong this enemy is if I just attack him like that with my one-handed. Remember, you do increased damage as well whenever you two-hand your weapon, so two-handing is definitely not a bad idea. But you've probably made it this far, maybe a little bit of problems, maybe you got hit a couple times, you might have healed, okay? So that's something that could have happened, but this boss might one-shot us. Seriously, he really might one-shot us. So, again, don't feel bad if that happens. I'm going to try to show you the best strategy to deal with this guy because we have magic, but to be honest with you, I do not honestly like using magic on him. I've done this as a practice run, and I've died maybe 3 out of 4 times I've tried doing magic on him. So I think melee is the best way because he's really stupid and slow. So make sure you're at full health because it's possible maybe you can survive the attack, but don't try to block it. Don't try. We need to roll through. There are iframes in this game, so we can easily roll through attacks. But the main thing is right away, try to sprint right at him. Get close to him. And then once you're close to him, try to get behind him. Try to stay on the side of him, basically, and watch out for that. Just back up when he does that. And do not try to prematurely come back into the fight. Let him fully sit down first. You can lock on too for this. But we want to kind of stay on this side of him. You see how he attacked and he just completely misses you. As long as you can keep moving as he's attacking, he should not hit you. Now to be safe, you can always roll as well. Rolling is okay. So I'll show you on the next one. So he's gonna do the attack, or he's gonna do that. Now this is slow to kill him like this, and the magic would be a lot faster, but for some reason, for me at least, every time I try the magic, I always die. And as you can see, he's pretty stupid. Now, you know what you could do. Let's actually see. Are you going to do that? Okay, we're going to roll. You see, rolling, that's fine too. Because you can just be safe if you want to roll. But when he does that, if you want, especially if you have this weapon, this catalyst on your left hand, remember, we're not blocking anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And one reason you're seeing me unlock is because it is easier to maneuver and to dodge when you unlock. So that is something if you want to do it. Alright, so when he does that, we can counter him with the magic. But don't overdo it. Like right there, I just did 3 and I got smacked. I got punished for that. So let's try to get behind him. If you get distance on him, you might think that's a good idea to heal. Guess what? It can be alright, but now we have to deal with trying to avoid his attack. So we run in. As long as you keep moving and you're sprinting by holding circle, you should be able to get behind him again, no problem. But we're going to let him attack. Now, this is a really good strategy for almost every boss in every one of the Dark Souls games. I would say only use this spell twice. Don't do it 3 times unless he does that like an idiot. Then you can do it again 2 times. Okay, I'm going to back up for that one because I didn't feel like I was close enough. Roll through that. But the strategy that I'm talking about is you let the boss attack, avoid it, and then counterattack. The key is, of course, you only want to counterattack however many times you think you're going to be able to get the attack off safely. If you try to overdo it, then you're going to be punished for that. So if he's doing this, we can go up, up, up. I didn't mean to do that. That was me pressing the button one too many times. You know, you want to be careful about that. And, I mean, look how crappy this damage is. It is so bad with this guy. He's really not meant to be using the melee weapon. He's really meant to be using the magic. But like I said, Every time I've ever tried to do that, if I try to just use magic, it never works out for me very well. And I know, like, one strategy you could definitely do on him is you could try to run to the other side of the room, and then anytime he gets close to you, you could try to avoid him and then, like, get to the other side of the room. But every time I tried that, he always cornered me at some point. Almost every single time. But again, just stay on his butt, you know, and stick to the kind of left side. Or at least your left, not his left, his right. And you should be basically good, and that's gonna kill him. Actually, I take that back. That is his... No, that's his right. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. But there we go. That's done. If you died on them, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. If you died on another enemy, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Do not feel like you have to start over. It's pointless. And on the PS5, they don't even let you, like, just delete, like, the person you just made. You have to actually go into... If you're brand new, if you've been playing, then you definitely don't want to do this. But if you're brand new, you could, if you wanted to, delete it by just going to your settings in your PlayStation and then finding, like, your game saves and then deleting it that way. But, I mean, that's a hassle. Who wants to do that, right? So it's just way better if you don't care. Trust me. But there's items here that we will get. So this is our reward for beating him. We get a couple healing items. Those are good healing items, I will be honest. We're going to get a couple upgrade materials as well, which, I mean, I could use them. I might not, though. To be honest with you, I don't think I will. Just because I want to keep it fair. For anyone who might have died, I'm not going to use those upgrade materials. They can help a little bit in the first area. But when we come over here, I'm going to skip the cutscene, but when we come over there, basically, now we're going to go to the main area of the game. This is the Nexus, and basically... this is kind of the hub area. Now, what we need to do, you can kind of talk to some people and figure some stuff out. If you did buy, which I don't recommend, if you're thinking about buying this game and you haven't yet, I don't recommend buying the more expensive one. You will get some bonus items, but honestly, I don't think it's worth it. You get some souls here. These items don't matter. Like the other ones, honestly, they do not matter in my opinion. The souls, you know, they're okay. You get some upgrade materials, but... it's nothing too crazy. You get this weapon. Now, this weapon's okay early on in the game. At the very beginning of the game, it's okay. It's a big, heavy weapon, so if you don't like big, heavy weapons, if you like faster swinging weapons, this might not be no good for you. But in general, it's a decent weapon. The shield, I believe you can get this shield as a drop, but the shield, we're going to get a much better shield than that. I mean, it's a decent shield as well, but we will be getting a better shield. And the armor, honestly, the armor's crap. I wouldn't recommend the armor. And the ring is crap. I'm not going to use any of that because, like I said, I don't recommend even buying that stuff. I regret buying it myself, so keep that in mind. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go here. This is going to be our very first area of the game. So we're going to teleport. You can talk to that guy who's blue, and you can get a cutscene, and he'll, like, tell you some stuff. But I'm not doing that. So I'm going to skip the cutscene. Now, first things first, let's turn around when we get here, and there's going to be an item back here. So we're going to go ahead and grab this. Again, I do recommend keeping maybe your catalyst in your left hand, because at this point, I'm really just trying to avoid the enemies. And if you want to go ahead and target these guys from distance and shoot them, you can. This is one of the best things about this class, as a starting class, is that you get that magic. And that magic really will start to shine here. Now, you know, we will be going through our MP, but it will recharge. We have the ring as well, so it's a really nice thing. So we can use a little bit. There's certain parts that are harder than other parts, and the magic will be better there. So if you want, you can go ahead and two-hand your weapon and try to avoid attacks. If you want to bust the shield out, you can. Because, again, if he swings, we can block him, and now we get increased damage that way. So... that's an option. I will say this, like right here on this part, the magic would maybe be good because you're going to be outnumbered. There's 3 of them. They might try to gang up on you. So the magic can kind of even the odds a little bit. The main thing is you want to be clicking in that right stick to always try to lock on. It will make everything a lot easier. So there's going to be a guy over here, and we can just kind of wait for him to come. And again, the range. The range, when you're two-handing, is something that you want to kind of judge. So you see the enemy, lock on, and you try to attack him before he can attack you. Now, these enemies have this jump attack. They do it all the time. That attack is super annoying. This enemy will probably do it. And afterwards, they'll always do that. So you can wait for that to finish. And if you wait for that to finish, then you can go ahead and just take them out at that point. But again, if you can kind of see the enemy coming, lock on, and try to judge the range for yourself, you probably will be able to hit that enemy. Now, we're going to do a little bit of a cheese here. It's nothing like crazy. But we're going to come over here, and we're just going to stand like right here. And then these guys should just kind of fall off. I would recommend blocking because of the archer. Of course, he decided to try to be smart for a second. And now we can lock on to... We can run up to the archer too. It's not a big deal. But let's try to avoid the arrow. Just moving around, you should have no problem avoiding the crossbow. And now we can come up here and grab this item. So let's grab that. And be careful here. There's going to be a guy around the corner to the right. So what I recommend is two-hand your weapon, and the moment we walk in, turn to the right and start doing your light attack. And lock on. You don't have to lock on, obviously. Like, you could just turn and start swinging, but then I missed because I wasn't locked on, so keep that in mind. Again, he did the jump at me. Let him finish, and poke him to death. There you go. Boom. Another one's right here, so again, we can roll back as he's doing it. And just like, you know, a lot of things, the rolling, you might have to get used to, the timing and stuff, but it's really not that difficult. You will definitely get used to it by the end of your first playthrough. Now here, there's two guys. Again, you know, they're kind of outnumbering me, so I can hit them with that, and guess what? Now I can just poke them. I don't have to use my spell twice, but I can hit them once, and now I know for a fact I can do my running attack, for example, and we can go through the fog. Now, there's going to be a guy right up here right away, so let's just go ahead and shoot him, and we can rush him and take him out. There's some items down here. I wanted to kill him because he's going to be throwing fire bombs at us, so just to avoid that. Honestly, this weapon is pointless and stupid. If you don't want to pick this up, don't pick it up. I'm just grabbing it because, like I said, I'm going to try to keep this a 100% playthrough if possible, where I try to grab almost every item. But there's going to be plenty of items that I'm going to not recommend grabbing. And that's one of them that I would say, don't grab. It's really not worth grabbing. So again, I just kind of judged the range right there, and I just started attacking. And if I can get it off before he can attack me, I should be good. Now, one thing we are trying to get here are fire bombs. We'll be getting fire bombs as drops from some of these enemies, but we're also going to be able to pick up several fire bombs as well along the way. But for this first boss, this first actual real boss, not the tutorial boss, will be super, super easy if we have fire bombs. Now, for these three enemies, again, because we're outnumbered and we have the range, let's just use our magic. Why not? We're not totally spamming it, but we are using it when it's honestly kind of better. So again, here's a guy. I'm just judge the range. Even though I missed that first attack, it didn't matter. I was still able to catch him and stun him. Same with this guy. I'm just kind of come around the corner, start swinging on him. No problem. There's an item back here, and there is going to be an item below us here. That is another item that I probably don't recommend picking up. It's a weapon, and it could be like a cool weapon at first, but the thing is, there's better versions of that type of weapon. So it's honestly better just to get the better versions, and don't waste upgrade materials on a weapon that is going to be worse in the end. Alright, so there's a boulder up there. You can clearly see it if you actually look. So what we can do is sprint up the stairs, and then turn around and sprint down the stairs. We can also roll off the side if we really need to. So let's do that. We're going to sprint a little bit up, sprint down, stay here, it's safe. And now, if you want to get the item, which is the bastard sword, you can go in and drop down and pick that up. And then we need to run back around, and we can go ahead and come up this way. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, I'm going to do the running attack on him, and just to catch him. The only thing he could have got me with there would have probably been a firebomb. If he would have threw a firebomb, he might have hit me. Again, these knights, they can be a little dangerous, so let's just shoot some magic at him. Why not? There's an archer behind us hitting us in the back. Now, you see that? That's him blocking it. Watch out. Watch out for that. If he does that little run thing, you might not be able to stun him, so just watch out. Now, we can spam some magic on him, too. And you see that? That's him being guard broken. So he's blocking us, and because we did enough damage to his stamina, he couldn't block no more. And guess what? Because he basically lost the stability, we get increased damage due to stability damage. Now this is important. Definitely grab this item. This is 6 fire bombs. That's quite a bit. That's going to help us out a lot. Now as we come down these steps, there's going to be an enemy. Do not rush down there. Let that enemy kill himself. That's what's going to happen every single time. Now, on this entire part here, if you want to shoot magic at all these guys, you can. Perfectly alright. So we're going to kind of keep going down the steps, but kind of keep a lookout as you're going down because there's going to be more enemies. There's one coming at us now. And the main thing is that they can jump at you and kind of like catch you off guard and scare you. And the last thing you would ever want to have happen on this part... Oh my god. Look at that damage. So I took some damage. Time to heal. Now, depending on how low your health is, it's up to you on which item you want to use. In the beginning of the game like this, definitely you do not need to use any of this full moon grass unless like you're super dangerously low. Same with the late moon grass. If you are panicking and you do it, it's okay. But half moon grass and then the crescent moon grass are the grasses we want to use to heal right now because they are going to be very common. So let's go ahead and come down here. There's going to be some chains, so we can actually attack these and break them with our weapon. So there's going to be items that will be on the bottom there now. One is an armor for female only. The armors in this game, some of them, not all of them, will be for females or for males, and there are some that can be equipped by both. It just so happens being a male kind of gives you a little bit of an advantage. Now this part is actually potentially dangerous and maybe even difficult. But with the magic, it's very easy. If we lock on, we can take these guys out at range. But basically what happens is if you try to just melee these guys, there's going to be like 5 of them coming at you at once. And because there's so many, it can be kind of difficult. But magic obviously just makes that super, super easy. But now we can open up this gate. But I'm trying to remember what I was about to talk about until I decided it was more important to bring up that difficult moment. But that ring right there, that's a super important item. We can go ahead and take off. Let's take off this ring. The item discovery thing, like I said, if you want to get that ring or start with that ring because of trophies and stuff, do it. But if you don't care about trophies, then you really don't even need to start with it. Oh yeah, I was talking about armors. So that armor, I cannot equip that because I am not a female. It's for the type A body, where basically some armors are for type A and B, and then some armors are for type B only. And as a male, we are a type B body. That's an important item as well. That will give us a really nice ring that we can use. So definitely pick that up. Now let's go back up the stairs and take... This is a shortcut. So if you die at this point, you can always basically just use this as a shortcut because it's right at the beginning. And it's now opened up. Now let me keep going up. But we're going to get an armor here. And we're going to be doing this thing where, like I said, it's kind of a cheese... But it's going to absolutely help us make the game really easy in the early parts. And then the game's going to become like super, super easy once we get our build going. But that's going to come a little bit later because we need to get the equipment for it and all that type of goodness. Now, you have an option here. This is dangerous. If you don't want to risk it, just go through the fog and you'll be good. But if you want to risk it, we can actually get some decent amount of souls, which is experience in this game, and it's like the currency, it's everything. Like we can buy stuff with it, we can do a lot of stuff with it, so we kind of want it. So we come over here, we can get it. Now this is very easy with this magic class. It's super easy, to be honest with you, but it could be dangerous because this enemy we're gonna fight definitely is a noob's trap. So this guy's being annoying with his blocking. That was very, very, very annoying, but whatever. Still got him. If you want to use magic on that guy, use magic on that guy, because he was being a total dick, honestly. But let's go ahead and come up here. And the enemy we're going to see in a distance is that Red Eye Knight. He's got a spear, and he is cheese. But with the magic, we need to lock onto him, and then we can start spamming at him, and then just keep backing up and avoiding him. Now he's going to be blocking it, just like before with the other one. But guess what? After 3 hits, he is going to be broken, his guard break, and then we're going to do increased damage because of it. Watch out when he gets close to you like that. So, you know, don't let him. Like, at this point, it's a very good idea for me to back up. So let's just back up. Go all the way through the door. He's going to continue to chase us, and of course he healed. Well, that's okay. It doesn't really matter much. I mean, if I was more ready to hit him, then... Okay, he's going to hit me now. You look at that damage he does. Let's back up. And he's going to heal. Yum, yum, yum. I'm going to heal. Oh, no. He's healing more. This is not going to plan. Now, we can actually take him out, by the way, by using our best friend, which is Gravity. Gravity can be a very nice ally in this game sometimes. Now, I'm out of magic. I'm going to pull out the shield. I'm going to block. And I'm trying to bait out... Oh, God, of course. Okay, but basically, you can use the blocking to get behind him like that. I'm going to two-hand now, because remember, he does have a shield. And as he was getting up, I went ahead and just spammed on him. Again, this is something that I would say, you don't need to come over here. But it was like 2,000 souls, so it's kind of worth it. And I did blow through all my magic. But to be honest with you, that was probably more my doing. Like, just try to stay away from him, but... try to keep on him. Try to keep shooting spells at him. And he probably won't be able to heal on you like he healed on me. And there is another strategy to deal with him, which is using gravity. You can knock him off a cliff. But with this class, it's really not necessary. But let me get back to my point because I keep getting off track. We're going to get an armor here. It's a male armor. And it's going to be pretty good. Honestly, you can use it for the entire game. Armor in this game isn't like crazy or anything like that. Like, honestly, a lot of it is fashion, so if you think something looks good, you should probably use it. But this armor is definitely like really good for its weight and its defense, so I would say use it. Why not? Use it the entire game. We're also going to get a weapon here, and the weapon is actually going to be really powerful. Now, the weapon can be a lot more powerful, but we're not going to really be focusing on that. Because it's not our permanent weapon. We're only going to use it to help us get to our permanent weapon. So right here, there is the wall. And if you hold circle and forward, you can jump over it. So there you go. This is a very good ring here, the Thief Ring. Now what this does, we're not going to use it right now. But what this does is it makes it harder for the enemies to detect you. So a lot of times you can get a lot closer to them without them knowing you're there. So you can sneak up on them. Or you can lock onto them with your spells if you are going to be using magic like I am right now. It can be very good, but I'm not going to use it right now. I want to be able to regenerate my MP, so you can talk to this guy now if you want. But from up here, we can just basically use our spell to take out every single one of these guys. So it should be extremely easy. This could be, again, kind of annoying if you were trying to melee all of them because there's 6 of them. Remember earlier there was 5 of them and that was dangerous. So 6 is not good. Now here's something very important. Do not talk to him. Do not. You've talked to him once. Don't talk to him again. Because this is important for us becoming strong right now. What we're going to do, and again, if you need to do it now. Practice your headbutts. Headbutt a wall and try to practice it. Now if you accidentally mess up and punch, it's not really a big deal right here. But don't talk to him because if you talk to him, he's going to start moving. And it's going to become really annoying to do this. But right now, he's not going to move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk. You can't lock onto him. He's a friend. So we're going to walk up to him. And we're going to do the headbutt. And we're going to push him. And the idea here, you can take your time doing it too. You don't need to rush it. The idea is to try to get him into the fire. Now, this is a guy, he has a quest line, and some people might think, I don't know if I want to do this. Honestly, I think this is fine. I think there's nothing wrong with doing this because you can always experience the quest line later on another playthrough, or you could do it on a New Game Plus run. But for a very first playthrough, if you want to be like really strong, this really does make a huge difference. But basically, as you can see, and by the way, this does not count for us killing him. We're not actually killing him. We're not going to be penalized for this because the fire is killing him. Okay, well that's an accident. I keep messing that up. But as you can see, it still works. Headbutt, and he's dead. So basically, like I said, that's not going to penalize us because we were not the one to kill him. The fire killed him. Same with like any NPC in the game. You will not be penalized if you like knock an NPC off of the map and they die. Totally alright. It's fine. You're not going to be... And same with poison. Believe it or not, if you poison an enemy and let them die from that, it doesn't actually count as you killing them. You have to hit them with a spell or you have to hit them with your blade to actually have it count for you killing them. Now in this room, there's these two guys, so watch out for the ambush. And we can go ahead and take them out. You can do it however you want. Maybe use magic. Now here's a weapon up here that I'm actually going to switch to. And I would recommend, if you actually have that bonus weapon from the like premium pack thing, you could go ahead and use that. But if you don't have that, this is a decent weapon. Now we can sneak up on this guy. If we walk slowly, we can do it. But you have to walk slowly. Do not run. And you can get the free backstab that way, okay? Let's back up now, though. We don't, honestly, after the backstab, you can back up and use spells. Or, guess what? You can just go ahead and use spells right away. Make them really easy. Let's go ahead and pick this up. Now, we're going to go over here to the right. And watch out for the archer. Just as long as you're moving, you should be good. And there's also another enemy that was on the side there. Now, this blade is much, much better. In terms of just, I don't know, I just feel like it feels better to use, especially probably for a newer player. The one-handed attacks are very fast, and it's very good. Now, at this point, we've had our auto-equip doing its thing, but we're going to actually equip fire bombs. So let's go and find them. You should have 11 if you've been following the guide. And this is good for now in terms of, like, everything we have. We can go ahead and maybe also throw on another thing, pine resin. That can be used against the boss. It can be very helpful. But what we're going to do here is we're going to select the firebomb. And I know, you probably know this by now, but I forgot to mention, you use items with square. So we're going to stand up here, lock on to, like, really any of these guys should be fine, but the one in the middle, probably alright, and throw a firebomb. It's going to blow up all those barrels, and it's going to kill basically all of those guys. There's going to be a couple left, but we can easily deal with them, no problem. So with this weapon, I'm going to just do the one-handed attack a little bit. Let these guys start doing their stupid jump stuff. Alright, I'm going to swing now. You can actually catch them in the air like that. You see that? And you can stop them from doing it. But as you can see, this is a very fast weapon. And because it has the horizontal swings and not just the thrusting attacks, you can catch a lot of enemies like that a little bit easier than with the rapier. Alright, so let's go ahead and come up here now. We're going back. We only went over there to basically grab those items. But now we're going to come this way. There's another enemy in front of us with his back turned to us, but we're just going to kind of like run up and two-hand him. If we catch him right away, it shouldn't be a problem. So let's go ahead and do that, take him out. Now there's going to be like a bunch of guys here. So again, you know, there's multiple guys. Alright, that's cool. Let's back up and let's start shooting some spells at him. Why not? Let's even the odds first. So take that guy out and we can block. Make him bounce off. Now we can counterattack him. Avoid that attack, and boom, there we go. Let's go ahead and pick this up now as well. Broken sword. That's actually pretty great, to be honest with you, but we're going to get that as an item anyway later on. But we do need a broken sword, but you're guaranteed to get it. That's purely RNG luck right there why I got it. Alright, let's go ahead and come up here, and this guy right here, let's try to take him out. Now, let's actually go up the stairs first. There's going to be some archers up here, or, well, crossbow guys, so let's take them out. You know, try to make sure you don't get shot. You could use your shield. Like, the shield definitely is decent for just blocking that stuff. And at this point, bust out your catalyst, or wand, and walk up here and lock on, and let's try to deal with this guy with magic. So, 2 hits on him. The other one, it takes 3 hits because he's way stronger. But this one, only 2 hits will break his defense, and we can finish him off. So let's go ahead and come up here. Another archer, and hit him. He's going to fall. That was... I should have shot him, maybe. The only reason I say that is because I'm going to be going back down. You don't need to be doing this. This is optional. I'm only doing this because I want to show it. There's a merchant here, so I'm going to show the merchant, but watch out if he survives. And there we go. There are some enemies over here, so they're going to be jumping down. Let's see. There they are. So we can pretty much catch them off guard right away. They're trying to ambush us, but we can ambush them instead. And again, with this weapon, honestly, the rapier might have one advantage over this, and that is it might have a little bit better range when you're two-handing it, but you still have good range. So we can sneak up behind this guy here, take him out. There's a guy around the corner there, so let's get ready to just start attacking him once we see him. Now we can come over this way. Now, don't worry about going over there. Over there, that's the way... Remember how we jumped off when we got to that knight? basically, don't worry about that. And the main reason why we did have that knight die, we didn't murder him, remember. We're not responsible, even though we might have headbutted him into the fire. The reason why we did that was to get that key. We wanted that key. So if you want to look at the merchant, you can. He's selling some stuff. We'll see him again later, and he's going to be selling all the same stuff, but even more stuff later. So that's the merchant. I just wanted to point him out. You don't really need to use him here at all. So now we're going to come over this way. And now we're going to go back up the way that we were going. And we're going to go through the fog gate this time. So let me just go ahead and run through all of this. And we need to go up here. There we go. And here's the fog gate. Now this part, there's going to be a wooden thing in front of us. And if we kind of stand, you can do it from the front. Okay, you can do it from here. But if you stand like right here, you should be able to hit it. And what we're trying to get is we're trying to break that wood. And just chill right here. Totally just wait, because it's going to kill all these enemies for us. If you do kind of like follow the boulders, you're like, I'm just going to follow them to watch. You might actually get shot by a crossbow. Now over there, you can see a giant blue dragon. So we're going to be doing something with that, but it is dangerous. You could die. But if you do what I say to do and you watch how I do it, you shouldn't really have an issue. Now, here's another spot. There's two guys around the corner. Let's lock on. The guys with the spears, honestly, are just annoying, so I definitely don't mind using magic on them and take him out. Alright, so I'm going to show you this first, and then I'm going to talk about what we're going to do here as a strategy. Basically, we're going to go to the left, and when we come over here, you can see there's two dragons. There's that blue one we've seen and a red one. And there's a lot of items. There's some goodies. And guess what? There's some good stuff. There's a shield over there that we're going to be using, actually, for this build, for the playthrough. I already have it. I got lucky with a drop earlier, but guess what? We're going to get another copy. It doesn't matter. So what we're going to do here is we're going to lure the red dragon away. And then all we have to deal with is actually the blue dragon and his stupid tail. Now, when we come back over here, we're going to grab, like, some of the early items. Those two on the left that you see there on the edge, we're going to save those. But we'll grab that first one, then we'll go to the right, grab that one over there. And then we can actually grab the one that's kind of close to his tail. But then what we want to do is we want to bait the tail attack out. So we're going to actually run up. And when his tail goes up in the air, we're going to run back or dodge backwards to try to get out of the way. And then we can get that final item. And then we can get those two items on the edge. We'll drop down. And there's going to be some ore items down there. And we'll be totally safe if we do it that way. So now I'm going to demonstrate what I'm talking about. So first, we need to lure the red dragon away. To do that, all we're going to do is run on this bridge. And there's going to be one enemy, so you can use magic. It's probably fine, but just hit him with that, and we can take him out. Pick up the item as well. These enemies on this bridge might drop some items. It's kind of risky, though, to try to pick them up. But we're going to chill right here, and here comes the red dragon. Now, what we're waiting for is when he actually does his breath attack. So, if you do this too early, he'll run away, like that. You see that? And that was a big mistake on my part. Stay where I was standing here. You know, just stay here. Do not move from the spot until he basically starts to do his breath attack. Otherwise, you're just wasting time like me. But I was trying to demonstrate like how we're going to run away. Basically, we're going to chill here, wait for him to come back, which will take a second. Because he decided to go all the way back. Okay. There he comes, finally. Alright, so wait for him to actually do the breath attack, otherwise he'll leave like he did, and then we're just gonna run like crazy, alright, just run away. And now we're gonna head back over here. We have plenty of time to get these items now. So let's go ahead and just keep going. Go down the steps, and remember the order that I talked about, but I'm gonna pick them up in that order. So we're gonna pick up this item first. Then we're going to run over here. This is going to be the shield right here. So we're going to pick up the shield. We can go ahead and pick this up. And then bait out the attack. When the tail goes up, we run away like crazy. Now we can go ahead and come and pick this up. Alright? Don't be afraid. He'll raise the tail back up like he did. But he's not going to strike twice. He's only going to strike once. Pick up those two items. Hop down here. And now there's going to be 2 more items down here. Now the red dragon's coming back, but guess what? We're perfectly safe over here. We don't need to worry about it at all. But you do want to do this. I definitely recommend trying to get this done to get those items, because there's one particular item that we kind of want there. It's that ring. The one where basically the blue dragon could have killed us with his tail attack. That's probably the most important item. And of course the shield. We're going to be using the shield, so the shield is great. Now, because we've done what we've done, we can actually just run forward on the bridge. We don't need to wait for the dragon now. The dragon has cleared all those enemies out for us, so we can just literally just sprint right forward. He will come back, but guess what? We're going to avoid him probably by a mile. And yeah, there's an item on the bridge there. And by the way, if you want to block these enemies as you're running across the bridge, go ahead and do it. That's fine. And if not, like, just try to, like, juke, you know, so that you can avoid the attack. But the dragon is back. There's an item on the bridge, but guess what? That was an item that one of those enemies dropped, and more than likely, it's just going to be some crescent moon grass. Now, this is important here. We need to pull this lever, and we're going to get a cutscene, and this is going to open up the boss area for us. So, when we go around this corner, there's actually going to be an enemy on our right and our left. But when we come around the corner, or he'll come to us, we're just going to attack him. We can actually just kind of roll through all this stuff here and just sprint up here, grab this item, and that's actually good because it's pine resin. And now, let's just try to judge the distance and take him out before he does this stupid jump. But let's go ahead and run over here, and there's going to be 3 enemies in this room, so let's even the odds. Let's bust out our magic, and here comes one, and we'll take him out. And here comes another one, and here's a spear guy, so we definitely don't like him, but look, I hate this. Look at that, I hate them. Stupid blocking. And then there's another guy right here, but we can take him out no problem. Double check for items. I think we're good. Let's go ahead and use one of these for the heal. Very little heal, but whatever. Now in this part, we can go ahead and use magic from a distance to take out these 2 guys. Again, you know, I hate these guys with the fire on the swords. They can actually do a lot of damage, and it looks like Gravity's going to be taking him out. Hopefully he actually died. I think he did. Yes, he did. Now, here's the thing. You can block if you want, but these things, don't try to use magic. I mean, you can, but it's really not necessary. Just try to get behind them. If you can get behind them, you'll have no problem. And 2-hand, because they are giant shields. So you don't want to be bouncing off of that stupid shield. So let's go ahead and pick this up. And now, again, you know, if you want to block, go ahead and block to avoid any attack. You can roll through it too, but try to get to the side or behind them. And he is on the edge. Okay, there we go. These guys can drop some upgrade materials for us, which is nice. So pick them up if they drop them. Now we're going to come down. Here's one more. So let's just block and get behind them. And if you can get behind them, as you can see, they die really, really fast. Alright, so grab that. And now this is the second shortcut. So I'm going to show this real quick. So if you've been watching this video and not been playing, you can kind of see the shortcuts. Basically, here's one side, and the beginning's all the way back there. So to the right, that's that shortcut, and the one that, if you did die, that you might have needed to use would have been over there to the left. So, we're going to fight the boss now, and we're going to be using the fire bombs, and we can use the pine resin that we have. So basically, the strategy is going to be this. We're going to lock on, but we're going to try to target pretty much the middle top. That's what we're going to be targeting before we start throwing the bombs. And then what we want to do is try to target anytime you see basically like a bunch of these enemies. You can kind of target like the most like center one, because that's going to do the most AoE damage to all of them. Because there's going to be a ton of these guys all on the boss. But as you can see, just kind of lock on to like a middle one like that on the top, and then boom, look at all that. Yes, kill a ton of them, right? And that's good enough because there's plenty of guys over there. Watch out though, you know, they might be trying to shoot stuff at us. Let's try to target that one maybe. Alright, there we go. And just chuck the bombs. If you want to use them all, you can use them all. If you don't want to use them all, you don't have to use them all. So, there we go. Let's actually stop using them now. And we can use a pine resin. These guys are weak to fire, so fire is extremely good. And honestly, I think it's a good idea to actually target these enemies still. They're going to drop upgrade materials, so why not, right? Let's try to kill all of them if we can. And that might be kind of a bad idea. There's so many of them right there. There we go. If you hit them in the back, it probably will be a one-shot. But at this point, the boss is basically defenseless and extremely easy to take out. So, that's the first boss. Honestly, it should not be a problem. I don't recommend the magic on it. You might be tempted to try to shoot spells and use magic, but until you get all of those enemies off of the boss, you're just going to be hitting those enemies nonstop, and it can be frustrating. So now, what we can do is we can actually go ahead and go back to the Nexus. Alrighty, now, don't do what I was going to show you to do, because I was going to do like a little strategy where I was going to right away just go and do this little cheese thing. Then I remembered that there's two things. One, I suck and I actually died. And two, if this is meant for like newer players, you're probably going to die too. At least you might once or twice. So, because of that, go to the Nexus. Once you've beaten the boss, go to the Nexus, you'll get the cutscene. And what you need to do at this point is the maiden in black is down there, so you can talk to her if you want. But then run up the stairs. It don't matter which side you take, but you want to take the stairs up. And we're going to run all the way up until we get basically here. And then we're going to keep going up the steps. And we're going to wait until we see an opening on the right side. You can go all the way up as well if you want to explore. But up there, it's kind of like a leaderboard where you can kind of look at like other people's stuff, like their records and all that. But this is what we're looking for right here. You see the giant statue? And we're going to go to the left. And if you're online, there should be a message like right here next to this. But this is the kid we need to talk to. So talk to him. There's going to be a cutscene here that you can watch. And after you're done talking to him, if you want, you can talk to him again. Make sure, though, to say yes. It's just a good idea to always say yes. He will give you a ring eventually if you get like the right conditions. So if you're trying to get all the trophies, then, you know, you want to be able to get that ring, and if you can do what he wants you to do to get the ring, which is to get pure white character tendency, which I'm not going to talk about that in this video. I'll save it for another one, but just know, like, that could be a little bit annoying to get. But anyway, if you go down these stairs, you can go ahead and grab that item, which is these eyes. The eyes are used to make yourself become human again. Now, at this point, you will be human because you just beat the boss, you restored your humanity, and now you can go ahead and do all of this, and you're good, right? No. Basically, without going into great details about it, the way that this game works is that you will have what's called world tendency, which I'm going to really not try to get into it too much here, but basically you can check it here in your tendency. There's character as well. But the point is that you can see like the worlds, right? They're all like gray. Well, you can make them either pure white. Well, you can make them white, you can make them black, you can make them pure white, you can make them pure black. And the way that you do that is by, basically, the best way to explain it is not dying while human. If you want it to be pure white, do not die in the world while you're human. If you die as a phantom like this, it's fine. Die 1,000 times, it does not matter. It won't affect it. But if you die while human, it will. So, you see, the big mistake there that I made was I decided, you know what, I'm lazy, I don't want to go and kill all those enemies again, so let me go ahead and go and try to do this cheese now. And don't do that. Come back here and do what I'm showing you now, and you can, at this point, go and talk to this maiden. You'll have some souls, so you can talk to her, and you can actually level up a little bit. Now, one thing I want to mention as well, I'll bring this up in another video, like more at the beginning, but I will put a link in the description to what I'm going to be doing with this build. So if you're watching this and you just want to know like what you're supposed to be doing build-wise, you can actually like click that link, and it's a website which will take you, basically it's a Demon Souls build maker. It's a very good website if you want to use it as a resource. But the thing is that you can actually see the build that I recommend for this playthrough. And, you know, there are certain things you should prioritize. I'll be showing that as I go through the playthrough. But the point is that will show you kind of like what you're going for. So if you go for any of those particular stats, you should be basically good. So look at that if you want to see like the build recommendation stuff like right now. But now that we're done with that, what you need to do, because you're human, remember you're human, I'm not, I died. if you're human, you need to kill yourself. So the way that you can do that is, and you want to do it in the Nexus. In the Nexus, it won't affect anything because you're dying human in the Nexus and you're not dying human in the world. Die human in the world, it's going to affect that world tendency, which I'll explain more in another video. But to easily kill yourself, all you gotta do is just kind of run up the stairs again, and once you get past this archway, just walk off. Walk off, and boom, you're dead. And I just realized, I'm a moron. I just lost that 9,000 souls. Because I demonstrated that. Well, you know, I did it for the purpose of the video, so yay. But I'm really stupid. I should not have done that. But basically, before you actually go back, make sure, you know, run up and grab your souls if you have any left over. You probably won't, though. You might have, like, I don't know, like 1,000. I mean, probably not even that. You probably have, like, 500 or 200 or something like that left. So, it don't really matter. But go ahead and pick them up. Now we can go back, okay? So, we're not going to go to the Lord's Path. I guess we could have technically done that. But we're going to go to this area, 1-1. The worlds are separated, like generally people will say, this is world 1, so you have like world 1-1, world 1-2, and same thing with the next one. Now to be smart here, and I'm telling you, be smart, do not try to run past all this. Now, running from enemies in any of these games is generally not a bad idea, especially after you die, because you're like, I don't want to kill everything again. You can generally run through the enemies. It's not really a big problem, right? It's good. There's a couple parts in this game, though, which is crazy. It's crazy on how annoying it is to run through the enemies. But this is one of those examples where, honestly, especially if you're newer to the game, just do what you did last time, essentially. Like, just take out the enemies. Take them out one at a time if you can. If they're kind of coming at you like this, take them out. Because, basically, like these guys, for example, they're going to follow us, and they are going to be annoying if they follow us here, because this part you can die on easily, because you can get cornered, and you can't move, and you're like, oh my gosh, how do I get out of here? And you panic, and there's a guy who sneaks up on me. Get out of my way. Watch out for him, clearly. Like, learn from my example. I guess he was hiding right here. I didn't see him. And to be honest, yeah, if you would have teleported to the Lord's Path and then come this way, probably would have been better. You would not have to deal with so many enemies. Okay, there we go. Now, let's go ahead and take out the rest of these guys. Now, you know, you can kind of run through. At this point, you probably can because, look, you just kind of let them come down, roll right through. Same here. But you could take them out with the spell and be very cautious and careful. I kind of recommend that, like I said. So we're going to come up here, roll through. Again, they're not going to really bother us. There are some enemies that we definitely need to kill if we want to do this cheese we're going to do here. So keep that in mind. Alright, so now we can just kind of go on through. Basically, there's going to be this knight again, the blue one, and we're going to go ahead and kill him. So let's go ahead and lock on, and got the free hit. And it's going to take 2 hits to break his guard, and now we can finish him off. Okay, he's going to give us healing items. It's guaranteed, by the way, from them to always drop you healing items. Alright, so come up on him, attack him. Now, here's what you want to do. Since we reset the area, all the enemies are back. We want to come down here, actually, because we are going to take out these enemies. All of them that are in this particular area, because we're going to be trying to do this cheese in this area, and we don't want these enemies getting in our way, just in case. So let's be very cautious, and let's basically take out all of them, and it's going to save us a headache later if they are going to be in our way. So, again, I hate that jump sometimes. Alright, there we go. And there's still that guy. There he is. I mean, he probably would not have bothered us, but just in case, get out of my way. If you want to use magic for all this, by the way, go ahead. It's totally fine. The only thing is the knight. You remember the red-eyed knight guy with the spear? You're going to have to deal with him again if you reset the area. So that can be a little bit frustrating. I mean, magic, it could take a lot of magic to take him out. You can basically get him to, like, a ledge and knock him off, but magic should be fine, okay? It should be good. Just remember to try to stay some distance out on him, spam spells. Normally, it's going to take 3 spells to break his guard, and then you'll do, like, some good damage to him. And, yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and walk up this way. Try to lock onto him, you know. If you actually put on the Thief's Ring on this part, you can, because remember, the Thief's Ring, that ring we got, actually will make it so that enemies will have a harder time detecting you. You should be able to get in range of him to lock on with your spell, and then if you do that, basically, you will be able to get a free hit in right away. Alright, so watch out. Don't let him get close to you. That was way too close for comfort, okay? He will hit you hard. He might even one-shot you. Okay, so just be careful. Alright, that should kill him. There we go. So now, what we want to do here, and I've already kind of done this because like I said, I died, but I'm going to explain it. You want to go ahead and break all this, okay? The only reason you're breaking this stuff is because this guy might swing to try to break it because it's in his way, and you don't want to get caught off guard with that. And basically, what we're going to do is we're going to open this door. That night that we actually, like, we didn't kill him, right? You know, he died to the fire. It was a freak accident. But he died, he gave us that key. Well, we can open this door now. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk in here, and he's going to challenge us to a duel. He's going to talk a little bit. He's not talking now because he killed me. But basically, we're going to walk backwards and let him slowly follow us. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention something. We need our headbutt on this part. So again, if you were not being very good with it earlier where you were having trouble, practice it. Go headbutt a wall for a while and try to learn it. It's always up and the light attack, which is R1, at the exact same time. So up, light attack, and if you just keep pressing the button at the exact same time, you'll have no problem. Now we're going to need a dodge here. So we're trying to lure him over here. Okay, I'm just going to go all the way out here because he's not going to follow. This is his cutoff point. He's going to back up and try to go back to where he came from. But basically, what we're going to do is we're going to roll through his attack. This is how he can catch you. Or I guess he'll follow you out here. Okay, very bizarre. You know what? I don't trust that. I would not trust that if I was you. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to roll through his attack, and then we're going to try to either headbutt him or backstab him, because we can backstab him, and we're going to try... Okay, he's going to do that. Interesting. Okay, let's start headbutting him. At some point, he's not going to attack us anymore, because he's programmed to try to run back. Oh my god. You gotta be joking. That's exactly what happened last time. It's same thing. Same exact thing happened, where he literally hit me with that, where he rolled. That's normally, that never happens. It just doesn't. But that's how he got me last time. Exactly like that. But basically, honestly, see, I'm not trying to do this backstab strategy on him because I feel like it's easier to probably just start headbutting him like that and try to push him than it is to first backstab him. But I'm going to do that. So you know what to do, what my recommendation is here. So instead, this time, I'm just going to run for it because I have no patience. I am running out, like, because I've died and I've cleared this spot now. You know, I just don't want to do it no more. Sorry. Anyway, so we're going to run past all this. As you can see, it's not too difficult to get through there by running, but you can get cornered, and if you get cornered, and especially if you panic, you can easily be killed. And at this point, you know, if you had any souls because you've died, or I've died in this case, then basically it's bad, because we don't want to die twice, ever. If we die twice, we lose those souls. Now, another strategy with this guy is to literally, like this guy in particular, is just spam with two-handed. If you spam while two-handed, normally, because you're not bouncing off the shield, you're going to take him out, no problem. So magic, you know, you can use it. It's safer that way, but you can always just two-hand your weapon like this, and it's kind of like, I don't even lock on, as you can see, not all the time. So let's take this dude out. Boom. Okay. Like, locking on is good, because otherwise you might be like swinging like wildly, like in some random direction, and it's not good. It's not pretty. I've seen it. I've actually seen it from like brand new players. But the point is that you can, if you can actually get like good with not being locked on and being able to turn and swing, then it is kind of nice. And while I'm saying all of that, I'm getting wrecked by those enemies. But it's all good. Doesn't really matter. But now, let's try this again. So I'm going to go for this roll strategy because basically by doing this little headbutt thing to him like right away, it just seems like he wants to keep rolling and doing the roll attack. And that's getting me killed. And it's just not cool. So this stupid spear guy's got to go with magic though. Because I hate that so much. With his stupid blocking. Ah, look at that. He's still doing it. Stop it. There you go. Alright, take him out. And now, that's right, we got the Red Knight to deal with again, of course. So, well, remember, I lost, like, my souls I had before because I demonstrated how to kill yourself. I'll get a little bit of them back because killing this guy, if you, like, here's the thing. If you're dying on this part because you're trying to do this cheese, you're like, man, I'm trying to do that cheese because I really want to get the stuff because it's going to be so easy. It's going to make the game so much easier on me. But if you are dying and messing this up, guess what? That's a little bit okay, you know why? Because as long as you're not dying twice and you keep killing this knight, this guy's worth, like, some experience. So you can actually get a little bit of levels doing that. Alright, let's be safe. Let's actually back up because I feel a little risky right there because he's fast. These guys with the spears are so fast with that stupid run thing they do. It's so annoying. Alright, so again, if you keep spamming on him like that, as you can see, I was talking about that earlier, but yeah, you can totally like get him when he's trying to heal. So again, this time though, what I'm going to do, remember, practice your headbutts. You will need them. But you can pacify this guy where he will not attack us. He will not attack us. He's going to keep trying to get back to like his home base. And because of that, it's super easy. We don't have to even worry about dying. But we do need to get him through that doorway. That's the important thing. And we need to get him through without him attacking us. That's the point. So what we can do is we can wait for his swing, okay? Roll through his swing. Now, you got to get the timing right. You know, you got to learn that timing. You roll through the swing, then you try to backstab him. It's really easy, to be honest with you. You backstab him, and then as he's getting up, headbutt him. Headbutt him, headbutt him, headbutt him. If you fist him a couple times, and that sounds funny, but if you do that, it's okay. But, you know, just keep doing the headbutt. So wait for the animation. Why is he doing that? That's 3 times in a row now. That's what he keeps doing, the same thing. Okay, I'm not falling for that. Don't fall for that. I don't know why he's doing that. He's trying to punch me. I've never seen that before in my life. Oh my god, he's not being normal. I swear. Is it because I'm offline? I don't get this. This is so bizarro to me. Normally, he just does his normal R1 attack. Like, okay, that's it. That's it right there. So, if you want to unlock, you can unlock. Make it a little easier to roll through. But now, lock on. Headbutt. 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 Just keep doing your headbutts, okay? Now, your stamina's going to deplete, and that's okay. Because he's going to keep trying to walk back. I don't know what is he doing. He's just being a dum-dum. Of course, he wants to do this when I'm recording. I've actually, like, started a playthrough to practice this run to kind of show strats, and I did this part, no problem, first try. It's not that difficult. I know, like, for a brand new player, this might seem extremely difficult, but it's really not. You just have to get this headbutt down. Because at this point, like I said, you're safe. Once he's to this point, he will not attack. The only reason he would, the only reason he's ever going to attack is to try to break some debris so that he can go ahead and, like, you know, get through it. He's programmed to attack debris. But he's not going to attack you at all. Without those enemies down there, by the way, also this will be easy. Because we're just trying to get him to the steps. We're going to knock him down these steps. And then guess where we're taking him? We are taking him to our best friend, which is Gravity. Because Gravity's going to kill this guy for us. And then we can get all of his goodies, okay? And I mean everything from him. And guess what? He's worth 27,000 souls. And at the very beginning of the game like this, that's a lot. I mean, that's crazy. So if you kind of wait for him a little bit there to kind of start to pass you. If you knock him all the way down, it's okay. You can still, like, take him to the edge. Just keep headbutting him. But you can also get him right here. So he's going to just kind of get to the edge. And there we go. Boom. Alright, so that was a little bit of an ordeal. I didn't actually expect it to be, like, that difficult. I'm kind of glad I died, though, because it kind of shows, like, the randomness of this. Because I do fully expect, like, a brand new player to probably die a couple times on this part, trying this. But as long as you practice your headbutt and you're able to kind of pull that off, it's really not that bad. And definitely try to do the roll thing if possible, where you wait, just wait, you know, the moment you see his hand like about to do the swing, that's when you roll. And then you try to get behind him and backstab him. And then as he's getting up, start the headbutt. Once he gets past that one point, you are good. Okay, so we knocked him off. He died to gravity. But guess what? His drops, his items, they went down with him. To restore that, what we can do is save and quit. If you save and quit and then we continue, basically, we're going to be able to have all his items spawn right where he was standing originally. So, if we come up here, we can pick this up. And where's his items? Oh, they're right here. Alright, so a lot of that's going to go to the storehouse, but we get his ancient armor and we get his ring. Again, that armor is awesome. It's super, super good for a male. And because that's, you know, we started as a male. If you want to play as a female, you know, that's up to you. But you're not going to be able to use that armor. But really, here's the thing. This weapon is going to be awesome for us. So, I'm going to actually also talk a little... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually pop... I'm going to pop, like, my bonus souls. I wasn't going to do that. So, one thing I'm going to do... You don't have to do this. I'm just lazy. I'm going to use one of these. And that's going to take me back to the Nexus. I kind of don't recommend it. Just run back. Especially if you killed all the enemies. It's not like anything's going to be in your way. So don't waste that. But you can if you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pop... Because I'll pop one thing. I'll pop this. Because I wasn't planning on using these because I know not everybody's going to have them. But because I was an idiot who got killed and then killed myself that second time and lost all that stuff, then yeah, that's a problem. So... Let's now go ahead and pop this, okay? And you can save this if you want, if you got it. I know I'm not going to use it because a lot of people might not have actually got it. Okay, but this is about right. I would say if you go ahead and you kill the knight, or not the knight, but if you take out the king guy and you get the 27,000 souls, plus by like running through that area, picking up everything, using all those souls like I just did, because you want to use them all. And you had, like, you know, the soul from the boss and all that, then you can totally go ahead and level up with about maybe 50,000. So I'm going to show you what we want to get right away. What we want right away is 22 strength. This is our number one priority. So that's what we want. After that, we want to go ahead and get, well, let me think. Well, I guess we can get our dex up to 18. Because what we really want is we kind of want all of these stats to be 18. We want these three stats to be 18, and we want this one to be 22. But, you know what I'm going to do? We're not going to do that. We're going to actually get a little bit of health. Health is important. I think 15 should do it for now, because that's going to, like, kind of be good for us. But the point is, we want to get these stats all up to 18, these three right here. And eventually, we want to get luck to 25. That's going to be, like, a very nice number for us. And endurance really doesn't matter much. I mean, well, I guess it will matter. It will matter depending on our circumstance. But let's go ahead and just do this for now. Okay, boom. And now we can go ahead and actually equip some of that stuff that we just got, the goodies. So let's go ahead and talk to him because this is our storage. And we can put stuff away as well. One thing is you want to talk to him, okay? And then you want him to tell you about his daughter. And once he's done that, if you back out of it and you have that jade ornament, okay, that we picked up, we talk to him, he's going to ask you, can you give it to him? Say yes. And he's going to give you a ring. This ring is great. You should totally keep this on you at all times because what this ring does is that it makes it so that it will increase your item carry capacity. There's two separate things. You have your item burden and then you have your equipment burden. So your item burden is just like how much stuff you can carry in general with you all the time. And this is just all about you pretty much being fat, okay? Because if you started as a royal, you're not going to be fat. But if you started as like a knight or something, you might have been fat. You don't want. You want that percentage number on the top right there, equipment burden. You want that percentage number to be under 50%, okay? Or really, it could be 50% on the dot maybe. But you don't want to have the slow roll. Never have the slow roll. It's very, very bad. So, let's go ahead and now talk to him. And we're going to retrieve all that stuff that we got. So, we're going to get the Ancient King armor out. To be honest with you, though, we might not use the gloves for now. Let's get the ring as well. Okay, so now we can go ahead and equip all of this. So there we go. And we're going to be really overweight because we're also going to equip the purple flame shield. We're at 91.9%. We are super fat right now. But that's okay because we're going to work around that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put on the Ring of Great Strength. We got this from the dragon area. And we can go ahead and put the wizard gloves on instead and the wizard boots on instead. And boom, we are there. Now, we will level up our endurance a little bit later. Well, we'll level it up, okay? But not right now. For now, what we really wanted was the 22 strength because this shield requires 22 strength. And this shield is amazing. This is such a great defensive shield. Now, the reason why this weapon is great is because it has physical and magic damage, and that's 240. This weapon can be extremely powerful if you can actually do what it wants you to do, which is actually to get the pure white character tendency. That's different from the world tendency, which I'm not going to explain in this video again. But the point is that this sword is really powerful if you can get that pure white status for your character tendency. The thing is that if you want to get pure white, you have to basically kill other players who come to try to kill you. So there's invaders in the game, and they're going to come and try to murder you, and you can kill them with, you don't have to kill them with the sword, but you just kill them in general. And that little eye icon on the top there by the health and the magic and all that, that will start to change the color, and that will become white, and then eventually will become pure white. And if you do that, this sword is going to be extremely powerful. But I don't recommend brand new players to try to do PvP. I just don't. And the same thing, you can also do it by making the worlds pure black. And then there are some PvE enemies that you can kill to increase that pure white status for your character tendency. But again, don't recommend it just because you're making the world pure black for that purpose. No, it's not really worth it. I wouldn't do it, okay? We will be making some of the worlds, or pretty much, we'll probably make all the worlds pure black in this series, but I'm doing it just to show what you can do. I'm not saying you need to do it. A lot of the world tendency stuff you don't need to do. It's just up to you if you want to do it or not. Okay, so, we're basically good to go. Another thing you could do if you want at this point is to upgrade the shield. The shield is something that if you have the upgrade materials, which you should have some, yeah, there's 8. Alright, I'll just do it. I don't have enough souls. But basically, yeah, you can upgrade this shield a little bit right now as well. But that's basically it. We're good to go. In the next video, we will be strong. We will be starting off in a really good spot of strength because we've done what we've done. Unfortunately, the one knight guy, the NPC, he had to die, but it has really helped us become super powerful to start the game. Even though the king decided to cheese me and just be weirdo and not do what he normally does. But, whatever. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you guys watching this. I really hope that you have enjoyed it and that it has helped. If it has, will you please like the video for me? Be sure to subscribe for future episodes. And, of course, I really do wish that everyone has a very nice day. And peace out.